has been said and written about this fight, and maybe my favorite line of all is that under no circumstances will this be a beauty contest. These are two of boxing's better brawlers. Let me now turn to my partner, Alex Wallow. Alex, they're fighting for the WBO title. Certainly not as prestigious as one of the big three, but nonetheless, regardless of the sanctioning body, this is a good fight.
Yeah, Dan, really, as we found out before, it's not the name of the sanctioning body. It's really the names of the fighters. And when the names of the fighters are Benn and Barkley, it's an explosive matchup of punches that should mean outstanding action as long as it lasts. It's also a matchup of two interesting personalities. The Englishman, Nigel Benn, 5 years in the British Army, turned professional boxer, ran off 22 straight knockouts, but Nigel showed no stamina and no chin when he stepped up in class last year against Michael Watson and was stopped in the 6th round. But importantly, Nigel responded well to the loss. He said it was a blessing in disguise. He said it proved to him how much he had to learn. He changed trainers. He moved his boxing base to Miami. He took fights against solid opposition, learned how to pace himself, and appeared much improved in beating Doug DeWitt last April. So, Nigel Benn appears to have his career on the right track. Iran Barkley's career has been on track for a while, since he emerged from the infamous projects of the South Bronx to become a world champion with his sensational 1988 knockout of Thomas Hearn. Iran lost close decisions last year to Roberto Duran and Michael Nunn, and then last December, he had surgery for a detached retina. He ballooned up to 217 pounds, 217 pounds after that. He's been inactive for over a year, and on a personal level, Iran's father passed away last Sunday. All those factors have been combined to make the younger, fresher fighter, Nigel Benn, a 9-5 favorite. But both men have the kind of power that can turn the fight around on a single punch. And when you have two bombers, it's often the man who lands his bomb first that comes out on top.
Okay, Alex, let's bring up the tail of the tape and look at the numbers for today's fight. Benn makes that weight easily. Barkley, as Alex just told you, really works to get to that 160. The rules today, the WBO version, 10-point must system. The 3 knockdown is in effect. The standing 8 is not. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except the final round, and only the referee can stop the fight. There is the opening bell, and we are underway. And as expected, it gets started in the middle of the ring, and Nigel Benn lands a right to get this one underway. Nigel Benn wearing the sequin trunks. Iran Barkley in the red is down.
Not only is he down, but he hit his man while he was down, and he gave valuable time to Barkley. Although the referee did pick up the count on 6.
And Carlos Padilla is our referee today. A shocking first round, barely underway. Again, Benn in the sequin trunks. The blade, Iran Barkley wearing the red.
Iran has shown recuperative powers in the past, Dan. Was getting beat up badly by Thomas Hearns when he stopped him. But he really looked very wooden when he came out of the corner. And there.
Counterpunch by Iran Barkley. And now it's Barkley backing Benn into the ropes. A good counterpunch by Barkley. A good left hand.
Oh, both men are hurt.
And checking it out. A loaded up right hand by Benn misses. A couple short counters. Those punches, Alex, from Barkley don't look like they have a whole lot on them.
Well, they're having an effect on Nigel Benn. I mean, Nigel Benn's chin has been suspect since the loss to Watson, as we said.
I was talking about just those last couple.
Oh, okay. Well,
they're nothing but arm punches. Well, we knew that a lot of big punches were going to be thrown, but... Oh, and there's a good right hand by Benn. Got over the glove of Barkley.
Iran's punches are just painfully slow, Dan. I mean, he's throwing them.
Again, an uppercut by Benn, and then it comes over the top with a right and scores.
Iran Barkley is a fighter who's always had a warrior's heart. He's always had a superior will, whether he won or lost, and he's going to need it here. He's lucky that he's in with an opponent whose chin is not rock solid.
Another combination of right hands, and you can see Nigel Benn closing, and he hits Barkley when Barkley's down.
And that should definitely be a point deduction. He's been warned already in this round about hitting a man when he's down. And that is grounds, in my opinion, Dan, if he landed a harder punch for disqualification. That's just outrageous.
Carlos Padilla yells at Benn, but does not take a point away. A legitimate knockdown. A reminder, the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. And there goes Barkley down to the ground. He's at the 3rd knockdown, Alex.
No, 2nd knockdown. He's stopping it.
Yes. Remember, he knocked him into the ropes right as we started. That was the 3rd knockdown. The fight is over. A 1st round win for Nigel Benn. I assumed that the first big blow by Benn, which knocked Barkley back into the ropes, should have been ruled a knockdown. The ropes kept him from going down.
You're right. I mean, he took 3 counts. My recollection is.
The 3 knockdown rule is a staple of the WBO. It is how Nigel Benn beat Doug DeWitt with 3 knockdowns in the 8th round. And now with 3 knockdowns in round number 1, he defeats Iran Barkley.
Let's count them. Here comes the first action. Barkley scoring the right, almost a right hook. And down went Iran. And he took a count. There, I mean, that to me, Dan, I absolutely can't tell you how wrong that is, what Nigel Benn did. There's the right hand counter punch.
But hitting afterwards, but you can't dispute it being a knockdown.
No, I can't dispute it being a knockdown, but I'll tell you something.
And there's number 2.
That to me is a disqualification.
I agree.
I mean, who can say how much effect that punch had on Iran Barkley? Been warned already in the round. I think you should have a punch taken away for the first one. I just think it's wrong. I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome of the fight.
Right.
I think it looked to me like Nigel Benn was going to come back.